All right, folks. Well, welcome aboard once again. As you can tell, we are looking straight up into the sky, and there's a reason for this. I loaded up the JF-17, and I wanted to see what the cockpit looked like and get a first opinion on the rework textures. I was not a fan of the JF-17. I do own every module now, and the JF-17 cockpit was completely lackluster. My neck is killing me by looking up this long, but I really did want to save my reaction for this video on if it's changed, if it looks better. Kind of feel like there might be some changes just looking at this one thing overhead here. But I'm not exactly sure. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let me just make sure I've got my DCS running the way I need to, as well as voice attack in case I want to do anything crazy. And all right, well, you are going to be the with me on this new adventure here, and here we are. And center that, and Well, I like this in here. This has got some really good texture going on. This ain't no Grim Reaper review, unfortunately. It's just my reactions here. And overall reaction, besides the jitteriness of the frame rate for some reason, which seems to be a constant problem lately, much better. It just looks less cartoony. Let's see if I can't try to turn it around. It's a pretty plane. Slow it down, slow it down. Wow, this part looks extra textured. That looks good right there. Right in there. Okay, anyway, I'm sorry. I do not know how to fly the Jeff at all, so I don't even know how to turn on nose wheel steering. This is one of the neglected modules that I have right now because I've got a full plate. And this is, you know what, like the more I look at it, that's what I was going to do. I want to turn on Sim Shaker here. It just doesn't feel right without some kind of feedback in my chair. All right. Okay, let's do that. Okay. Turn on that. Now that we have the display in the sun, this looks, this looks really cool. We've got like little dust particles almost, just, signs of use. Much better textures all along here. I think personally, I don't have a good visual memory, but my impression of this is much better. This looks still cartoony. These yellow handles, I'm on the Rift S. These yellow handles, they just don't look right. They don't look right at all to me. I don't know what it is. Just something about it looks like it's from Flight Sim 10. Okay. Yeah, I don't have any of my Sim Shaker. My Sim Shaker's not even set up for this, for the Jeff. Okay, I'm gonna whip it around again. I've been flying a lot of the F-14 lately, so, coming from an F-14, it's, as Cap says in the Grim Reapers, it's just hard to compare to the F-14. I mean, that thing is a freaking beast. It looks beautiful in VR, and this is definitely an improvement. These nuts and bolts looking a lot better. I feel like, they probably didn't even touch it for all I know, but I am coming off of 2.5.5, which is the last patch back in February, I believe. So we're several months away from that. So I could also be behind in just just from the patches itself, whatever improvements they've done. But you know what? Looking down here, these knobs look so much better. This definitely is an improvement here. The MFDs, that texture around there, that's a lot of help. I honestly, really don't like the sun setting in this. I'm going to try to see if I can't load up oof, it's a little loud. I'm going to see if I can't load up a different mission, see if I can't get a little different lighting condition. I wasn't really planning to be in the cold and dark, though. I don't want cold and dark. All of these are cold and dark, so I don't know how to turn it on. That does make things difficult, doesn't it? Let's see, what can we do? Just go free flight. Let's try free flight and see if that's in a different, if that's not a little bit better quality. Sorry, a little sun fried too. Had a vacation and a little sun fried from that, so. And just kind of making some adjustments here. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's still kind of the same lighting conditions, but boy, oh boy, this is coming along. I am a huge critic of the JF-17's cockpit. I just don't like it, period. I just hated it. This is changing my mind. I'm really happy to see what they did here. I didn't expect it to be so fast. I know we're looking at the cockpit today, but let's look around back here for a second. Oh wow, okay, the seat's really nicely textured up here. I love that. That's really popping in VR, but the seat cushion and it's just could be how it looks. It does look like it's got some it looks like they put work into it, because when you zoom in, you can see it almost looks like meshed or something, like textured itself, but it does look blurry. It just doesn't match the sharpness there. This doesn't look good. Like, this needs, I know nothing about graphics in Pilot. I don't know about the graphics, but these controls in here look terrible. Nice and detailed. I like the little nuts and stuff, but oh my gosh, they look like they're not real in VR anyway. This shine over here, I mean, it looks like a lollipop or something. This is where it's let down a lot. There's textures along here that look great. I'm not sure if anything's changed on the sidewalls or not, but I'm telling you, the biggest improvements I'm seeing. Okay, let's see if I can get the sun behind us or something. I really like this. I see. I like this looks good in VR. Just this, our main console here looks pretty damn decent, very sharp in VR. But then again, for some reason, I'm looking at these yellow buttons on this background here, on the panel here. Just whatever reason, you go from looking. Sorry, I'm trying to zoom in. So, I go from looking at this, that looks great and textured, and then I just look over to the left, the first thing my eye sees is that yellow, and then I see that against that backdrop here, and it just doesn't, it doesn't look good to me. This area, obviously the shadow underneath here, we've got like some kind of shadow problem there. I'm not sure. That's not right, to me anyway. So the backdrop texture still looks cruddy, which is crappy because you can even see that it looks like there is like paint, like you can see paint on this anyway. On this side I can actually, as you guys can see it too, we can see some paint, like, just paint texturing, and that looks okay. This shadowing looks terrible. But then you come over to here, and I don't know what it is. It's like these buttons in here, they just don't look as good as they should. Something is just not right with that. I can't put my hand exactly on it. This is cool too. I like the outer edges, like the I don't know what this is. Most likely a thermal paste or some kind of, you know, insulation sealant. And that looks really good. I mean, that's like the F-14 right there. That reminds me a lot of the F-14, because you can really see the little, you know, just the lumpiness of the weld or the sealant or whatever's there. Looks really good. The compass, this compass looks great. It's even got like I don't know if that's supposed to be a symbol or something, or it's definitely a step above. I mean, I would have rated this cockpit 2 out of 10. If that. That's being super generous. And it's weird too, because you look to the right and you see the refueling probe, and the refueling probe just looks great. Like, that looks beautiful. Look at that. I think that looks great. That's, you know, everybody's different, but I like this. Little chips here. I mean, that is literally, I can reach out and taste it. The rudder pedals, same thing. The rudder pedals look great. You just feel the textures, but this gear lever looks great, but behind it maybe not so much. Not sure. And then here you go again. Here's another good example. I just noticed something that is kind of what I've seen with this model. With this module, is like you get the textures here, and then this cover right here, to me, like these covers, it's like a bright red non-textured, like it doesn't look textured, it just looks like a bright red, you know, like you get, look at this, that looks well weathered and textured, and just there, you know, you look at the landing gear lever, it looks well tested, you know, well worn, and you know, looks real basically. And then this doesn't. It sticks out like a sore thumb. This emergency jettison button cover looks like shit. It looks like Flight Sim, you know, it looks like Flight Sim 10. Really happy that they have improved it as soon as they did. Same thing, control stick, the top looks great. Top, you know, in VR looks, let me see if I have any button clickies. Okay, I don't see them. Doesn't look like there's any button clickies yet. I haven't really assigned my controllers to this plane too well, so it could be that too, but I am pressing the trigger, and yeah, I'm not seeing anything on the trigger. Up here, same thing. I mean, it just looks great textured there. Let's look back here. Not much to look at back here. Just pause it for a second. This is cool. I like this little clip here. That flash, the flashlight looks great. The MFDs, the outer MFDs look good. Like, they look finished. This control, the throttle quadrant here, it's kind of got a glossy look to it. It's got, like, it feels detailed. It feels like it still needs to bake a little bit more graphics wise, because I mean, here, you know, case in point again, you got, and I know they're supposed to be different colors, I know that for a fact, but you look at the textures here, and then you look at the textures here. Look, this is not got a single scratch, not a single texture, not anything. It looks like it's wet paint. This looks like wet paint, and I guess kind of that's almost like that too. It almost looks like wet paint, or like a rubber paint or something. And then you see this, and you got, you know, dull, and you know, it's dull, it's scratchy. It looks like it's got dust on it. And then this looks like it just got spray painted. Same thing here. This just looks utterly cartoony. The base of the throttle quadrant just literally looks like a cartoon. So I'd say they're 50% done. I mean, if they really want to be, you know, if this, I haven't flown the module, so you know, I've heard it's pretty good flight wise. You know, looks decent on the outside. I don't know. You know, not like the F14 to me. F14, I mean, now that looks good right there. Okay, so I stand correct. Doesn't look as sharp as it could. Like the textures don't look as sharp to me, but you know, it feels like it's there somewhere. It feels like if they just slapped on the right textures and the right magical fairy dust that they do, they could really make this shine. It doesn't feel like it's, you know, modeled poorly. It just feels like it's not done yet. It's just not done baking. Like, you look at the rudder pedals. Rudder pedals look great. Look at that. And then you look at the throttle quadrant. You know, or you look at the main piece here, and then your eye goes over here, and then it looks like, you know, Flight Sim 10, real life. Flight Sim 10, real life. And that's kind of like what this cockpit is to me constantly. It's like, okay, right here I feel like I'm in a real cockpit. Then I just kind of, you know, focus my eyes on something different, and then I don't feel like I'm in the real cockpit. Okay, look over here. This looks great. You know, this control panel, this is wonderful. These are the switches seem to have a glossy, really too much of a glossy reflection. I don't know what it is. You know, let me pause it for a sec. You see, I mean, the switches don't look as good as they can. You know, I've been in the F14 now for a little bit, and so I'm really kind of spoiled with those textures. Those, you know, that whole thing's just beautiful. It really is a pain in the butt, but beautiful. Same thing here. Right here, what is it? It just doesn't look right, does it? It doesn't look good. It just doesn't. It's not real. That's not real. This looks okay. You know, this looks real. This is like F14. Like, you look right in this area, and this, to me, is comparable to the F14 right here. Comparable, you know. But then you look, like, you know, you just look around a little bit more, and you get, you know, just little things that don't work out. And it's weird too, because you have the switches here that are fixed, but then, like, these knobs look terrible. All of these knobs, in my opinion, they look like Flight Sim 10 quality. Now they look great. Maybe could be a little bit more. Let me see if I can get it in the sun again, but maybe a little bit more, you know, baking on the really, you know, sun glistening texture when you can see the flaky paint and the little ridge lines. Maybe it could use another layer, if that's what it is. Like, they look better to me. They just, like, I'd say it's an 85% out of 100. Before these, we're still talking about these switches here, I would have I would have said it, like 2 out of 10. Pretty much the whole cockpit was a 2 out of 10 for me. These switches now at 8 out of 10. This area here to me looks great. You know, this is 10 out of 10 to me. I love that, like, I can see, and why it's a 10 out of 10, because it's like I can literally look at the side of I can look at the little grime in between the buttons there. I can see the little ridge line right there. I can feel that texture practically. I can see this screw. I can see the depth. I can feel the roundedness of the buttons, and the sharpness and flatness where the button meets, you know, the control panel. I mean, the whole thing pops. The top here. Here's another good example. Like, look at just little things. Little, you know, look at look at the top here. Look at this, is nice and textured. And then look at this yellow thing. It just, the contrast when you look between this, which is textured and real, and you can touch it, you can feel the flakes of paint with your fingers, and then right here it's like, it's yellow. It's yellow. Anyway, joystick, the top of the joystick again looks pretty good. I hope that they make the buttons move. If they haven't already, it doesn't look like they're moving for me. You know, so they got some work there. It needs work. It still needs work. The cockpit still needs work, but definitely making me feel a little bit better that the money went someplace good, because I paid almost full price for this one. So I'm going to be more, you know, I'm going to lean on it a little bit harder than if I You know, well, I'm on it. Actually, I would be honest no matter what no matter what I paid. I am always going to be honest. You know, that's just who I am. So yeah, these, you know, this looks great. You know, again, the switches though, the switches don't. Some do. These, you know, these knobs and stuff, they look great. You know, the knobs look great. The number pad looks great. This looks like shit. Just looks utter horribly terrible. Same thing here. Like, look at it just, something's not right with the switches. And this, like, it's just weird. They almost, like, are illuminating a bronzy, greeny, metally color. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not good at that kind of stuff. But, you know, it's getting better, though. It's getting way better. So if you are somebody like me and you're going to hold out, it's not a 10 out of 10 cockpit. But, you know, this is cool. Like, this gives you the cool factor right here. This just right here. And if they could just finish this, if they could just finish this cockpit, like just this little console right here, boy, would it look great. Because, I mean, look, you can see the little lines on the digital readouts there. You can just see everything. And when you're moving in the sun, you know, you can see now those little green lines go away. Now you see a little reflection on the CAS man, you know, the 001, the comms, all of that stuff. Like, you can see a reflection, and it looks great. And then the rest of it does. Like, not that the rest of it does. There's just blots. There's little spots that take you out of it, and that throttle is a big one. I mean, come on, it does look a little cartoony, right? I wish I could get the sun in there. Try to get the sun. I'd be curious to see what it looks like. No. Let's go look at it during, let's see if we can't find either a night or a nighttime or a dawn mission. That would be cool. So you see what they have in missions available for the JF-17 so far. JF-17. Okay, I'm not seeing any free flight there or anything like that, so let's see if we can go instant action. Try the night takeoff and navigation. And please, if you're listening, was it Deca that makes us, give us some more missions in the other maps. The Russian map sucks. I mean, it was great for what it is, but, you know, there's the Persian map is beautiful. All the other maps are gorgeous. Like, we need, you know, I think for $70 we could get at least a free flight in every single map. That's just my 2 cents, though. Okay, let's see what we're looking at here. And see, you know, this looks great. This looks so cool. That looks beautiful right here. The switches, you know, and it's bizarre too, because the switches, yeah, even at night you can still see there's just something not right with the switches to me, to my eye. You know, see, here you go. Like, this you can really start seeing, like, it's not just yellow, it's got little textures, and, you know, it just doesn't completely flow yet. It just doesn't, but it looks, I mean, it's fun. It's great. I definitely just like to see what the textures look like back here. Let's see if I can turn on the flashlight, maybe. I have my flashlight. Let's see if I have a flashlight. I may not even have it assigned in this. Probably not, I guess. Yeah, it doesn't look like I have a flashlight assigned. No. Okay. That would be great if I have my. Let's just try that. Just controls. Search. Okay. Let's just see if I can. Nope. I'll just assign this real quick. Nope. Still not giving my. Forget it. Shift. What was it? Shift L. Something L, right? Yeah, there's something not working with that yet. Left all L. Okay, let's fine tooth comb. Oh. Okay, there we go. Okay. See? This kind of shows you. This kind of just gives us everything that you need to see. Doesn't look right, does it? Does it look right to you? The way it reflects, how shiny it is, the blandness down here, this blandy gray color. You look at that, that's real. That looks real. All of that. Beautiful. That looks real, that looks real, that looks real. Then you see, like, the background looks okay, but the switches don't. They just don't look. That just, the red doesn't even match. Like, the red's off. You know, that looks great. Great. You know, that doesn't. First glance, just could use some work at the base of the joystick. Joystick itself looks good.
Warning.
What'd I do?
Warning.
What am I doing, lady? All right. So you can really see, you know, I love the new textures around here. This doesn't do it for me. You know, it's just like, it's not a 10. It's not a 10. It's like a 8, 7.5, 8, 7.58. Okay, coming around. Let me move my glove out of the way. Okay. That looks good. See, like in between here, this is the details that just, that's cool. You can really see in between these two panels here. You can really see, you know, you can just see between them, and that really adds so much more realism to them. But the switches don't look. These look great. It's just the actual switches here that don't look like they match. This knob doesn't look all that great for some reason. That's so weird. Maybe it's the angle. I don't know. You know, that thing looks okay. You know, the canopy handle. No, that doesn't look. That needs some more work. It needs to be worked on. Okay, that looks great. That looks great. Let's look at the seat again. Well, actually, let's look up here. Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful, except again, just this doesn't look metal. It looks like plastic. That's what it is. It's like the difference between plastic and metal. I just figured it out. It's like when you look at something and it looks like plastic, that's what I'm seeing here in VR. Like this thing right here, this bolt, whatever this is. It looks like it's plastic imitating metal. You know, the cord looks great. That looks awesome. The textures back here look great. I mean, this looks, that's, you know, that's Tomcat level to me right here, just right where the flashlight is. These look great. You know, all these little nuts and bolts, you know, going upwards. Look at that. I mean, you can actually see the shadow behind the nut, right? Isn't that cool? That's what I'm talking about. That's perfect. And we go on here. We go into the cockpit. Like, you can actually see the little, like I was saying before, that, you know, that thermo paste, or if it's, you know, whatever that is. This get my other hand here. You know, right. Oh, don't try to hit the button though. You know, right here. Like, I feel like I can literally feel that with my fingers. Right? And then you look at the throttle quadrant. No, no, this same thing. I mean, this spring, it looks like a cartoon imitating a spring. It doesn't look like a spring. Here, that looks like the fucking side of an aircraft. This looks like a rubber version of the aircraft. This looks like a rubber throttle quadrant. All of these red, besides the landing gear handle, all of these red covers, they stick out to my eye. They completely stick out to my eye. This nozzle here, the oxygen supply valve, this looks cartoony. Right down here, these two little nuts there, or whatever they are, they're cartoony. That looks cartoony. This looks cartoony. It looks like it's not baked yet, but behind it does. Like, it looks like it was textured, like it's halfway there, and they didn't finish. Like, even the wires going down, it's like a solid black. I'm sorry, wires. This is an air hose. So, I mean, the air hose going down, you know, it doesn't look rubber. It looks like just a solid black thing. Just solid black. It could be a cord. It could be anything. There's just no texture to them from here. There's just none. Nothing sticks out. Nothing pops out. It's just a black thing. And then you come over here. This is like 6 million different colors. You know, if you ever use the old Microsoft Paint, you try to like blot, you know, try to match a color, and you know how it would just be a million different shades every time you'd try to match a color. Like, you click on one pixel, every pixel is just a different color. You know, that's what you got here. Then down here, that's a solid black color. So I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, and maybe this will help, maybe it doesn't. I mean, see, and then down here, that looks good. That's what I mean. Some of it's finished, some of it's, then this doesn't. This thing here, whatever that is, doesn't look good. It looks cartoony. It looks like plastic. That's what it is. Plastic. This looks like plastic. 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 Awesome. 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 Plastic. Down there, plastic. Plastic. Totally plastic. I mean, and I'm sure that's probably what it is in real life too, but it doesn't even look like that. Like, it doesn't even look like real plastic in real life. It looks like what plastic does to something. And I mean, and then it's crazy too, because you look back there, and that looks really good. You see the reflection back there, in between the two rudder pellets. That looks amazing, doesn't it? It looks great. So, oh, that's what I was going to look at. I'm sorry, I was going to look at the seat. See, this just doesn't. It's not sharp. Something about it's not right yet. Like the F-16 seat, whew, that's my favorite seat out of every single module I've owned. The first time I looked at that shag carpeting in the F-16, I was blown away. I was like, wow, that really looks like a seat cover. And see, and then vice versa, like right here, this looks real. Like, this is perfect. That's great. That looks real. Yeah, that sticker there doesn't look too great. You know? The sticker doesn't look good. That looks great. Back there. You know, that looks great. The sticker, it's okay. Kinda, not really. So, there you go, guys. Definitely an improvement. I know I've been mostly just focusing on the negatives. But, oh, that's cool. I forgot your flashlight would do that. That's cool. You know, it could use some work. I think voice command or voice attack via comm triggering my comms menu. Yeah, you see, and you come
You know, but also I'm somebody who, you know, I wasn't super impressed with the F-18. I know Cap from the Grim Reapers, he liked the F-18. I'm not saying it's bad at all. It looks really good, but I just, honestly, the F-16 and the F-14 are my favorites. So, you know, as far as graphics go, I think the interior graphics of the F-16 and the F-14 are just the best. They just are. The Black Shark looks pretty good because they've redone that now, and that looks pretty good. A10 looks pretty good, but to me, the ones that actually, you know, made me actually stop and drop my jaw was the F-16 and the F-14. They're just, you know, like, we'll go take a look. Let's go look real quick. Let's go instant action. We'll take the F-16. I've actually been meaning to try this anyway, so. Yeah, and what we'll do now is we'll just compare the F-16, how that looks, what I like about it. Look at the Jeff in the same kind of conditions. No, this is definitely what got me into DCS was actually the F-16. Believe it or not. Of all the things, right? But the F-14 is unbelievable. Just gesture and using that with Viacom when Viacom works, which is 50-50. I've just been having so many issues with Viacom. I haven't been doing any videos for YouTube or anything because of the frame rate issues. You know, we kind of went backwards over the last few months, so it's good to be able to be back here and start looking at DCS again as a whole, as a work in progress. Whereas before it was just broken. But unfortunately for me, Viacom and Voice Attack are still unsatisfactory. I'm very impressed right now with how they work. See, here we go. And already I can tell you, nope. See, for me, this is where it's at. I mean, look at that. Look at that carpeting. That's like real carpeting. I can freaking feel that, man. Like, just looking at it, you get that feeling, like you know what it feels like when you touch it, and you can feel that feeling, and just the details here. Call me crazy. I think the F-16 is a lot better. Let me just see if I have my controller working. I have a force sensing stick for the F-16, just like the real F-16, so I don't really move my joystick. I have it on the right side mounted when it comes to F-16. Wait, how do I? There we go. Okay, let's turn it around. See, here we go. Case in point. Let's look at this. Look at this joystick, or just joystick. Look at the throttle quadrant. Just wow, right? You can see the little chips on the edges. You see the marks, and they look like natural marks. This thing, I can practically feel it. That looks perfect. That looks great. I mean, down here, same thing. So, I don't know why those switches just stick out weird in the Jeff to me. I don't know why. Like, for all I know, they're probably recycling the same switches. They don't, like here, there's a button similar to the, in the Jeff, and I'll point that out. This button right here, this is a real looking button. And there's a similar, switch, and there's a similar switch in the Jeff that I'll switch back to and point that out. This looks great and looks real. you can really feel the reflection. You can feel the depth of the gauges. You can really feel the depth. You can feel, the front panel here, and then you can feel the little edge here, and then the plate, and then underneath the plate, and then underneath that, and then finally the angle of attack strip right there. You can really see it. You can see the differences. You see the depth. Same here. You can really see depth in this whole cluster. The whole cluster is you can see the depth of every instrument. I mean, you can practically see the white paint spray painted on. It's so insane. Look at the buttons. I mean, look at the detail. These tiny little pits in the buttons. Come over here. Look in the back. All of it. Look, that looks real. This looks real. There's no plastic in this thing. Nothing looks plasticky. Nothing. Sometimes I feel like the base of this side stick's a little off, but look at the cover. Look at the cover right here. I wish I could open it now. There we go. Way different in my book. Just something about it. I don't know. So I'll leave you with a picture of this. A picture of this button here. We'll get out. We'll hop back into the Jeff and see how it compares. Go back here. Just see what takeoff and navigation looks like. Okay. Yeah. Now, see, to me, come on. The difference is night and day, right? Well, I mean, the contrast between this white, light gray it should be, to this, it just doesn't. It's like watching Bob Ross paint, man. It's like we're halfway done with the painting. Like, you don't see it quite yet, but you see where it's going. You can see it's going to be a tree and it's going to be this landscape, but you don't have the wow factor yet. The portrait's not complete. Well, Bob Ross didn't do portraits, but the landscape's not complete with the Jeff as far as I'm concerned. I'd like to see some more work on switches and textures. Just make it feel more not gritty, make it feel more just like it's like I can run my hands on it and get cut, that feeling. So that's about it. See, again, just the weapon release button, that bright red, it just doesn't, it needs some work. Something's not right with it. Is it improvement? Oh, heck yes. I am so happy that they're starting to, like, this makes it half livable for me, honestly. And most of the time I'm going to be looking out the HUD and looking at this. So for now, this makes it at least doable. So I really, thank you. Thank you to Deca. I really am glad to see work getting put into this cockpit. It really needs it. We've got some really good modules out there now, and it's a hard thing to compete with when you have an F-14. You've got the F-16. The F-18 is good texture. I mean, the F-18 is my go-to. That's my workhorse. So, you gotta, when you go from an F-14 or a F-18 and you hop into this, it's just it's just a little bit of a meh. So, I know this is not normally how I fly, but video's coming to an end anyway, so maybe I can get a little bit more sun in areas that I want to see sun in. I mean, it's gonna fly great. It might as well look great, and I don't know if this is just the way it looks to me, but up there it looks a little too broken. Like, it doesn't look smoothed over. If you look at the edges, these edges here look broken. Could be a VR thing. At first I was really liking that, but now I kind of see it kind of looks a little blocky. So I keep going back to negatives, and that's not what I want to do. I'm actually super excited. I think they've made a great improvement to this thing. I hope they do a lot more work to the cockpit. And right here, looks great. When I look down, just this lighting, sometimes you just get it in the right lighting. I don't know what it is. Your mind's in the right spot, and you feel like you're there. And this is the first time that I've ever had that feeling in the Jeff. No matter where I looked in the Jeff before, I felt like I was in Flight Sim 10. Now I get, once in a while, I can slip into that, I'm actually there. But there's got to be some more work done to this. And that's just the way it's, that's the way it is. I hope they keep working on it. Got the dogs going out in the background for no reason. And, it's fun to fly. Well, guys, I think I'm going to call that a break here. I will sign off with that piece. Wait, hold on. Go docs. Pull out. But yeah, so they do need to work on it a little bit more. That is my final saying here. Let me get out of this. I'm going to end the transmission. I got to edit this a little bit anyway. All right, there we go. All right, guys. So I hope that was helpful for whoever's watching, and peace out.